Everything you see, everything you experience is only a shadow of what has already been set in motion. Do not be discouraged by appearances, for they are but echoes of past states of mind. What you are going through now is not the end, it is the shaping of something greater. Your current circumstances do not define you. What you see in the physical world is only a reflection of past thoughts, past assumptions, and past beliefs. Every condition, every event, and every situation you experience is merely the visible outcome of what has already taken shape in the unseen realm. To judge your future by what your senses report to you now is to misunderstand the very nature of creation. You are not limited by what appears before you. The present moment is not a fixed reality, it is a moving shadow, cast by the thoughts and assumptions you once held. If you wish to change your life, you must first understand this fundamental truth. The unseen precedes the seen. That which is invisible to the eye is more real, more powerful, and more enduring than anything in the physical world. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to check its progress. You trust that beneath the soil, unseen to your eye, the seed is germinating, expanding, and preparing to break through. The same law governs the manifestation of your desires. The thoughts and feelings you cultivate within yourself are seeds planted in the unseen realm. The world may not yet reflect your vision, but that does not mean the process is not unfolding. This is where faith is required. Not faith in an external force that may or may not act, but faith in the law of creation itself. Faith that your inner world is the only true reality, and that in time it will project itself onto the screen of your life. You do not need to struggle, force, or manipulate circumstances. Your only task is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to dwell in the certainty that what you desire is already yours in the unseen, and to persist in this state regardless of what appears to be. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will present you with evidence that contradicts your vision. It will whisper doubts, fears, and limitations. But if you allow yourself to be swayed by what is seen, you will be like a man who, seeing his shadow cast on the ground, believes he can change it without moving himself. The shadow is merely an effect. It cannot be altered without first changing its cause. Your inner world is the cause. Every thought, every assumption, every belief you hold is shaping the unseen substance of your reality. You may not see the changes immediately, but do not be discouraged. The process is already underway. The moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you begin to feel yourself as the person you desire to be, the unseen world responds. The conditions of your life begin to rearrange themselves to match your new assumption. Doubt has no power except the power you give it. If you persist in your new state, it must take form. If you waver, if you allow appearances to dictate your belief, then you remain bound by the past. The secret to transformation lies in your ability to remain faithful to the unseen, even when the seen tells a different story. Understand this: you are always creating. Whether you do so consciously or unconsciously, whether you manifest joy or sorrow, success or failure, the law is always operating. Your life is not the result of chance, nor is it dictated by forces outside of your control. You are the creator, and the unseen responds to you. When you grasp this truth, you will no longer live as a victim of circumstances. You will no longer wait for external changes before feeling at peace. Instead, you will turn inward, knowing that the only work required is the inner work of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Trust the unseen. Know that what you desire already exists in the formless substance of creation. Remain steadfast in your assumption, and it must become visible. Do not be deceived by delay. Nothing is truly delayed, only unfolding in perfect order. The unseen is always at work, shaping and preparing the reality you have claimed as your own. Hold firm to your vision, and it must become your experience. The way you see yourself in your mind determines your future. Every experience, every event, and every condition in your life is a direct reflection of your inner assumptions. If you desire a change in your outer world, you must first create that change within. The world around you is not separate from you. It is an expression of the thoughts and feelings you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is not a fleeting daydream or a meaningless mental picture. It is the foundation of reality itself. Everything you now see, every structure, every invention, every relationship, was once only an image in someone's mind. The unseen precedes the seen. The invisible world of imagination is the blueprint from which the physical world takes form. If you wish to transform your life, you must first master the art of assuming the feeling of your desired state. This is not about mere wishing or hoping, it is about knowing with absolute certainty that what you seek is already yours. You must live in the assumption that your desire has been fulfilled, that it is already a reality, even before the senses confirm it. When you impress this feeling upon your subconscious mind, it must externalize itself as fact. Consider the person who constantly imagines themselves as a failure. They see obstacles at every turn, they anticipate rejection, and they assume that life is against them. Whether they realize it or not, they are creating this experience through their inner conversations and self-concept. The subconscious mind does not question, it only accepts what is impressed upon it. And so, their reality must conform to their inner world. Now consider the one who sees themselves as successful, confident, and worthy of all good things. Even if their current conditions do not yet reflect this state, they persist in assuming it. They walk as though they are already the person they desire to be. They speak, think, and act in alignment with their vision, and because they remain faithful to this assumption, their reality must shift to match it. The law is impersonal. It does not judge whether your assumption is good or bad, desirable or undesirable. It only brings forth what you persist in believing to be true about yourself. If you assume lack, struggle, and limitation, then lack, struggle, and limitation will be your experience. If you assume abundance, joy, and success, then these will manifest in your world. The process is the same, whether the outcome is positive or negative. To change your life, you must change the way you see yourself. No one can do this for you. You must take control of your imagination, discipline your mind, and reject any thoughts that contradict your desired state. You must refuse to entertain ideas of failure, rejection, or limitation. The moment you accept these as truth, you are planting seeds that will eventually grow into your reality. Your imagination is not limited by time or space. You are free in this very moment to assume any state of being. You can close your eyes and feel yourself in possession of the very thing you seek. And if you persist in this assumption, if you dwell in this state long enough, it must become your external reality. There is no power outside of you dictating your fate. There are no external forces preventing you from achieving your desires. The only thing that determines your future is your own self-concept, the way you see yourself in relation to the world. If you wish to change your circumstances, change the way you see yourself. Assume the state of the person you wish to be, and the world will reshape itself accordingly. This is not theory, it is law. The world around you is only a mirror, reflecting back to you the assumptions you hold within. If you desire a new reflection, you must first create a new image in your mind. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, persist in this assumption, and it must become reality. What seems like a delay or a hardship is not a sign of failure, it is preparation. Every challenge, every obstacle, and every setback is part of the process that is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. The difficulties you face are not meant to break you, but to refine you. They are tools, chiseling away the old patterns, limiting beliefs and doubts that have kept you from stepping into your highest self. When you experience resistance, you may be tempted to believe that things are not working out for you. You may look at your circumstances and think that your desires are slipping away, that you are being held back, or that what you want is impossible. But the truth is, nothing is ever working against you. Everything is working for you. What you perceive as an obstacle is often the very thing that will elevate you. A diamond is formed under immense pressure. Gold is purified in fire. The strongest trees grow by standing firm against the wind. In the same way, your trials are not signs that you are failing. They are evidence that you are being prepared for something greater. The difficulties you face today are strengthening you, molding you, and making you ready to receive the life you have been calling into existence. The question is not whether challenges will arise, they always do. The question is, how will you respond? Will you allow circumstances to dictate your state of mind, or will you hold firm to the vision of who you are becoming? Will you give in to fear, or will you trust that everything is unfolding in perfect order? There are moments when things seem to be falling apart, when the path forward is unclear, and when progress feels slow. But in those moments, you must remind yourself, what is happening now is part of the process. You are not being tested for the sake of suffering. You are being prepared for the life you have envisioned. The world around you may not yet reflect the changes taking place within, but that does not mean those changes are not real. The unseen work is always the most powerful. You may look at your circumstances and think that you are stuck, that nothing is changing, but just like a seed buried in the soil, growth is happening beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible. If you dig up the seed too soon, doubting its growth, you interrupt the process. The same is true for your life. You must trust that even when you cannot see immediate results, the work is still being done. Challenges do not come to punish you, they come to strengthen your belief. They ask you one question: will you persist? Will you continue to hold the vision of your desired life even when everything around you seems unchanged? Those who do, those who remain unwavering in their faith, are the ones who see their desires come to life. What you are experiencing is not rejection, it is refinement. What you perceive as delay is not a denial, it is alignment. The path you are on is leading you exactly where you need to go, in exactly the right way. If something has not yet appeared, it is not because you are being denied, it is because you are being made ready. Do not resist the process. Do not allow frustration, fear, or doubt to pull you away from your vision. Instead, embrace the journey. Know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The obstacles you face today will become the very foundation of your success. The struggles of this moment are preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. Remain steadfast in your assumption. Persist in the belief that your desires are already yours. No challenge can stand in the way of the one who refuses to be moved by external circumstances. Hold firm to your vision, trust the process, and know that every challenge is a step forward. The path may not always be easy, but it is always leading you to exactly where you are meant to be. Do not look to the outside world for validation. What you see with your physical eyes is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you judge your progress based on what currently exists, you will remain trapped in the cycle of waiting, doubting, and reacting. The truth is, the moment you assume a new state of being, your reality begins to shift, even if your senses have not yet caught up. Everything in your life is responding to the assumptions you hold within. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. If you persist in seeing yourself as the person you wish to be, if you remain unwavering in the belief that your desires are already yours, then the outer world must conform. This is not speculation, it is law. What you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, will always express itself in your reality. Most people live reactively. They look at their circumstances and allow what they see to dictate how they feel. If they see success, they feel confident. If they see failure, they feel discouraged. But this is living backwards. Your emotions should not be controlled by the external world. Rather, the external world should be controlled by your emotions. When you take control of your inner state, when you choose to feel and live as though your desire is already fulfilled, you move from being a passive observer to an active creator. It is not enough to merely hope or wish for something, you must assume it. You must live from the end result as if it is already done. This means thinking, speaking, and acting as the person you desire to be. If you want to be successful, you must assume the feeling of success now. If you desire love, you must embody love now. If you seek abundance, you must carry yourself with the confidence and ease of someone who already possesses it. This is not about pretending or forcing, it is about knowing. The feeling of certainty is what impresses the subconscious mind. When you hold the assumption long enough, when you persist without allowing doubt to take root, the unseen forces begin to work in your favor. People, opportunities, and events will rearrange themselves to reflect your new state of being. Some will say, "But my circumstances do not support this belief." That is precisely the point. You must believe before the evidence appears. You must feel it before you see it. This is why so few people truly transform their lives. They wait for proof before they allow themselves to believe. But creation does not work that way. The outer world is a delayed reflection of the inner world. If you wait for your reality to change before you change your belief, you will wait forever. Step into the version of yourself who already has what you seek. Ask yourself, how would I think, speak, and act if my desire were already fulfilled? And then begin to embody that version of yourself now. Do not waver when the outside world tries to convince you otherwise. Do not allow temporary appearances to shake your conviction. The moment you claim something internally, the process of manifestation begins. There is no force outside of you holding you back. The only barrier is your attachment to the old state of being. Let it go. Release the need for external validation. Trust that the unseen reality is already forming. And above all, persist. Many give up too soon. They assume their new state for a day, a week, perhaps even a month. But when they do not see instant results, they return to their old ways of thinking. This is like planting a seed and digging it up each day to check if it is growing. You must have patience. You must hold the assumption long enough for it to take root and blossom into reality. You are the creator of your experience. The power has always been within you. Do not wait for permission from the outside world. Assume your wish is already fulfilled. Live from that state and watch as reality bends to match your inner conviction. Persist, and it must become your experience. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not bound by what appears before you. The life you desire is already yours. The moment you assume it in your mind, the only question is whether you will persist in that assumption long enough for it to materialize. Your current reality is not a limitation, it is simply a reflection of past thoughts. If you wish to change your future, you must first change your inner state. You must trust the process, even when the physical world has yet to catch up. Challenges are not obstacles, they are stepping stones, preparing you for what you have claimed as your own. The unseen precedes the seen. The world will always mirror back to you the assumptions you hold about yourself. If you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you remain steadfast in your vision, then reality has no choice but to conform. The law is absolute. Do not waver. Do not be discouraged by delays. Know that the process is unfolding exactly as it should. Hold firm to your belief. Refuse to be swayed by appearances, and trust that what you desire is already yours. You are the creator of your life. Assume it, persist in it, and it must come to pass.